Hello, I'm Oliver Colling, and this is the My 70s TV Childhood Quiz. Welcome back to the best, if not the only, quiz podcast based on the enormously popular My 70s TV Childhood podcast. I can say that with great confidence, as who defines what enormously popular means. Anyway, welcome back to our almost legendary fortnightly quiz where we test your knowledge of 70s TV trivia over 4 rounds and 20 questions in total. This is, somewhat unbelievably, our 40th edition of the quiz, meaning that we have now managed to dredge up 800 questions on 1970s TV, which I think deserves some applause. I said, I think it deserves some applause. Thank you. Now, I'm very pleased to report that after the whinging from listeners over how difficult some of our recent questions have been, did I say whinging? I should have said constructive criticism. Anyway, many of you did much better on last time's quiz, with plenty of high scores reported back to me via our Facebook page, Twitter/X, YouTube and LinkedIn sites. A number of you also dropped me an email to quiz@my70stvchildhood.com, which was very kind, to tell me about your scores in the high teens. Well done all. Quick memo to myself though, I must make things harder this time. Okay, without further ado, I suggest we get on with our quiz. Now remember, it's just for fun, although I do know some of you are very competitive with the quiz, which I really like to hear. So let's go on to round 1. And this is a very simple round called Doctor Who, Yes or No. Now I'm going to read you the names of some actors, and the question is, did they appear in Doctor Who during the 1970s? Pretty straightforward, I think, and you have a 50% chance of getting each one right. So that could be a flying start, well, or a total disaster, depending on how you do. So, let's go. Actor number 1, Katie Manning. Yes or no? Actor number 2, Michael Sheard, better known to most of us as Mr. Bronson in 1980's Grange Hill. Yes or no? Actor 3, David Yip, star of The Chinese Detective and later in Brookside, I remember. Did he appear in Doctor Who? Yes or no? Actor number 4, the great Frankie Howard, the incomparable comedian, star of At Pompeii and various other things. Did he appear in Doctor Who? Yes or no? And finally, actor number 5, Roger Delgado. Did Roger Delgado appear in Doctor Who? Yes or no? How's that for you? A flying start, I hope. And now, let's go on to round 2. And this is our marathon or Fil Rouge round, where we go back and ask you about subjects we've covered in the 6 seasons of our podcast. If you haven't listened to all episodes, fear not. You should be able to have a guess at most questions. Question 1. This is, as I've already mentioned, our 40th quiz. So what month of what year was the first one released? And we do it every fortnight, so you should be able to have a reasonable guess at that. So what month and what year? Question 2. In July 2023, we remembered how. Oh. And alongside that, I talked about the I Spy books. Who was the leader of the I Spy movement, if I can call it that? Who you wrote to when you filled up your book? Question 3. In June 2021, we looked back at bank holidays and the pretty awful TV we had to suffer. What was the name of the show showed every bank holiday, which featured clips from Walt Disney films and cartoons? And question 4. Earlier in 2021, in February to be exact, we featured evangelical Christian show The Sunday Gang. Which of the presenters of The Sunday Gang also starred in Lizzie Dripping and later became a host on Blue Peter? And question 5. Bod featured in June 2024, most peculiar programme. But what was the name of Bod's aunt who featured in the show? What was Bod's aunt called? All right, halfway through already. And next we have our ever popular, or so you tell me in your feedback, name that tune and spin the wheel combo round, where I spin our specially constructed Wheel of Fate to choose a year from the 1970s. And then using our state-of-the-art AI-powered theme tune generator, I ask you to identify 5 theme tunes from that year. Dead easy, eh? So, let's spin the wheel. And it's landed on 1977. All right, let me just put that into our state-of-the-art AI-powered theme tune generator. Okay, let's begin with theme tune 1. Hope that rings a few bells. Now let's go on to theme tune 2. Bit of a controversial show, that one. And how about theme tune 3? That one, I think you should get. The tune was redone many times over the long life of the show, but this is the original. And now here's a tricky one for you. Theme tune 4. And finally, here's our 5th theme tune. Okay, so we're on to the last round already, and this is our TV Times round, which is on general TV trivia. And this week, it's a bit tough, I can tell you. Question 1. What was the name of the 1977 drama series starring Edward Woodward, which was set in a dystopian Britain, where free speech was banned and the population was controlled by the rather sinister Public Control Department, or PCD? Question 2. In Rising Damp, what was the name of Rigsby's unseen but much discussed cat? Question 3. Tony Britton starred as Labour MP Christopher Collinson in an ITV political drama from 1974. What was it called? And question 4. What rank was Jack Regan in The Sweeney? And finally, question 5. Which sci-fi series featured the incredibly powerful computer ORAC? O-R-A-C, ORAC. Reasonably challenging, that one, I'd say. And that's it. Our 40th quiz is complete. Apart from the answers, of course. But before we move on to those answers, here's the answer to last time's bonus question. I asked you, in January 1978, ITV screened its first An Audience With show. Who was the original host? And the answer was Jasper Carrott. So well done if you got that right. This week's question is as follows. How many episodes of the rather weird French import Barber Papa cartoon show were made? So how many episodes of Barber Papa were made? And I'll let you have 5 either way in your answer. If you do know the answer, you can let me know by emailing quiz@my70stvchildhood.com. All right then, put you out of your misery time. Let's reveal this week's answers. Round 1, Doctor Who, yes or no? Actor 1, Katie Manning. Well, yes, Katie Manning was in Doctor Who for some time and played John Pertwee's assistant, Jo Grant. Question 2, Michael Sheard, better known as Mr. Bronson in 1980's Grange Hill. And the answer is yes again. Michael played lots of parts in the 60s, 70s and 80s in Doctor Who. Actor 3, David Yip. Was David Yip in Doctor Who or not? Yes, he was. He played Venda in the 1979 story Destiny of the Daleks. And Actor 4, Frankie Howard, the great Frankie Howard. Was Frankie Howard in Doctor Who? No, unfortunately not. You can just imagine what it would have been like had he had made an appearance, but no, that was never to be. And question 5, actor Roger Delgado, and I'm sure many of you got this, yes, he played the Master. All right, round 2, our Fil Rouge round. On what month of what year was the first quiz released? And that was August 2023. Question 2. Who was the leader of the I Spy movement, if that's the right term? Who you wrote to, and you wrote to at his wigwam, and which I should have given you as a clue. And that was Big Chief I Spy. Question 3. What was the name of the bank holiday Disney clip show? And that was Disney Time. Question 4. Which host of the Sunday Gang also starred in Lizzie Dripping and later became a host on Blue Peter? And that was Tina Heath. And question 5. In the rather strange cartoon Bod, what was Bod's aunt called? And Bod's aunt was Aunt Flo. All right, moving on to our theme tunes. First theme tune. Now that was the theme tune to the First World War aerial drama Wings. Theme tune 2. I said a little controversial. That was the Let's Have a Good Laugh at Foreigners programme, Mind Your Language. Question 3. That tune, theme tune 3, was the original opening theme to Top Gear. Theme tune 4, bit tougher. This was the theme tune to a BBC Two series, Don't Forget to Write, which starred George Cole as a frustrated writer who had writer's block. And theme tune 5 is the theme from the BBC's adaptation of the novel The Children of the New Forest. All right, on to our last round, our TV Times round. The 1977 drama series starring Edward Woodward set in dystopian Britain. That was called 1990. Very forward-looking in those days. Question 2. In Rising Damp, what was the name of Rigsby's cat? And the cat was called Vienna. So, when he put the cat out at night, he could say, "Good night, Vienna." Question 3. Tony Britton starred as Labour MP Christopher Collinson in ITV political drama in 1974, and that show was called The Nearly Man. Question 4. What rank was Jack Regan? He was, of course, Detective Inspector, D.I. Regan. And what sci-fi series featured the incredibly powerful computer Aurak? That was Blake's 7. So, how did you do? Are you full of the joys of spring, or are you deep in a winter of despair? Whichever, I hope you've enjoyed our quiz. Well, we'll be back next week for another regular episode of the podcast, and then again in a fortnight with our next quiz. If you've enjoyed listening, then why not tell your friends? We'd also appreciate it if you liked, rated, and reviewed our podcast wherever you get your podcasts from. So take care, be nice to everybody you meet this week, and join us again soon for more from My 70s TV Childhood and the My 70s TV Childhood quiz.